Welcome back to another one of Nathan Bell's Centurion series of commentary videos. This is going to get turned into a book, but more on that later. But give it a like, give it a share, support Nathan Bell and everything he does in his global domination campaign through art. Today, Nate wants to talk about smoking.
Yeah, well, I've been trapped in this trap of smoking for years, since I was 16 years old. I'm 37 now. Geez, and, I've got to say, there's no doubt about it. It's an addiction. And people can say you're weak-willed or that you're just not strong enough to quit, and that's fine. But the reality is cigarettes are tailored by cigarette companies to be highly addictive. Especially compared, I've heard some suggestion that natural tobacco isn't anywhere near as addictive as these cigarettes, which are manufactured by cigarette companies to be highly addictive. And cigarette companies have devoted decades to scientific research to figure out how they can make their product as addictive as possible. Some people say that giving up smoking is harder than giving up heroin. So, I feel for smokers, especially now with the way the prices are. I don't necessarily disagree with the tax because, the tax pays for people's health care when they're dying from smoking-related illness, so I understand that argument. But honestly, and the government's doing a great deal in Australia to help people quit smoking. Like, you can't deny you can get patches I think you can get patches on the pharmaceutical benefit. You can get patches for cheap and discount, and you can get a script for patches off a doctor, and you can get all these different medicines, and there's nicotine replacement therapy options. So there's a lot out there to help people quit smoking. But, it's still so hard. And, I know people who've been trying to quit smoking for a few years now. I won't say names. But they keep relapsing, I know a couple of people in particular who've gone through 6 months without smoking, 3 months without smoking, but they keep relapsing. They keep going back to it. It's so addictive. And honestly, I want it out of my life. It's going to be the end of me. It's going to kill me. But I can't function. If I'm a pot smoker and I can go 2, 3 days, 4 days without smoking any pot, and it just doesn't bother me. I can handle that. But if I have to go a day without cigarettes, I fall apart. I feel like I have to stay in bed all day. It's just ridiculous. It's like I can't function. I can't go about my daily activities without cigarettes. So I really think, the government needs to open up some sort of smoking exclusive rehab centre. There needs to be some sort of rehab centre available for smokers where they can come in for a month and detox. It needs to happen, and I've said that to the Australian government before. I've written to the Australian government before and said, you need to open some sort of rehab centre because people can't detox off cigarettes. It's too difficult. It's too addictive. The withdrawals are terrible. The cravings are huge. So we need some sort of rehab option for smokers, really. That's what we need in this country. Somewhere where you can go, and I feel like I would need to be locked away for 3 months just to detox and to come off nicotine and cigarettes, and then I still think I would have cravings. But I really feel like I need 3 months locked in a room where I'm deprived of cigarettes and where I have no option to have cigarettes. And I imagine it would be 3 of the most terrible months of my life. I would be pulling my hair out. I'd be climbing up the walls. So I accept the tax, and I accept that it pays for people's medical expenses when they're dying from smoking-related illness. But we need to empathise with smokers because it's a highly addictive product. And there's a lot of smokers who really don't want to smoke anymore, but they can't function without it, and they haven't found it in themselves yet to quit. But I want it out of my life. It's going to kill me. I'm doing all these great things in my life, and my life's going fantastic, but I'm still chain smoking, and it's going to be the end of me. And what a disappointing death it would be. So I definitely regret ever taking it up. It's one of the only things wrong with my life is that I smoke cigarettes. Everything else is fantastic. And one of the biggest regrets of my life is that I smoke cigarettes. Everything else is fantastic. So if I can just give away the cigarettes, if I can find it in myself to give them up, I'll be in a much better position to move forward. But, we can't dismiss addiction, and addiction is a medical issue. And people should understand addiction to addictive substances as a medical issue, because there's uncontrollable cravings. It overrides your free will. Addiction overrides your thinking. It overrides your free will. It drives you to desperation. It's like, I busk in the street every day. I see all these people picking up bumpers off the street and smoking them, and I've done it before as well in the past. I don't do it anymore. But it's desperation, and I've seen people going through bins picking out cigarettes to smoke. That's addiction. It drives you to do these things. It rules your life. And that's why we have to view addiction as a medical issue to be addressed with medical treatment. So I definitely support the idea of opening up some sort of centres around this country where people can go in and be looked after while they detox from cigarettes, because people find it so hard. And pushing the price up it's helped some people quit smoking, it's driven some people to quit smoking, but there's still a lot of smokers out there, and there's still a lot of people willing to pay the exorbitant prices because they're addicted. So we need to do more to help people get off cigarettes, and I question whether it should be illegal. I have all these thoughts about natural tobacco and growing your own tobacco in the backyard, and whether there's any evidence that natural tobacco is less harmful than manufactured tobacco. I'd really like to know if there's any evidence that natural grown tobacco is less damaging for you than manufactured tobacco. Really, I question whether it should be legal. I don't like banning things because I'm very liberal, and I'm pro smoking cannabis, and it doesn't make sense, because it's I want to legalise cannabis, but I just, so many people are stuck in the trap of smoking, and it's killed so many people already. You watch, I'll be another one of these people who dies from cigarettes. And so everything great I've done in my life and all the exciting things and how much I wanted to live won't matter, because I had this cigarette addiction and it will kill me, and then that'll be the end of it. And that's been the case for so many people, and so we need to do more. So drop a comment in the comment section about what your thoughts are about addiction. Is addiction a medical issue? Do we need to do more to help smokers quit? And thanks, guys.